Hurricane Nation podcast. I am your host, Ely Benoit, Coach B, and we are live remote from the beautiful LRC showroom. Once again, thanks to Mr. Joey Todd for helping us out. You know, I'm not going to say in a pinch, but in a pinch. So glad y'all can join us. It's been a little while. We've had a few things, come up. It's life. Things happen. And but we're here and we're live, and we are going to recap a few things that's going on in the past few weeks, and it's been a lot. Last time you seen us, we were at the stadium, homecoming game. Big win against Live Oak, down to the wire, 32-28. Beautiful game. And riding very, very high on that win, 3-game win streak. At that time we were 4-1, 3-1 in the district, and things were looking up. And then here comes Denham and Santa Monica. Everybody knew it was two very good football teams, and not just to throw it all on them. The games, which we'll cover a little bit, it wasn't just them. We had a few things that kind of didn't go our way, and we fall 0-2 in those games, sitting right now at a 4-5 record, and 500 in the district. But the sun's always shining somewhere, and the reason you bring that up is that we went from a 2-win season last year to potentially having a 500 season this year. Huge growth in the program. So with all that being said, I'm going to bring up some. If we'll start with the Denham game. 51-13. Okay, not pretty at all. You hear that score. But, I mean, again, there were some highlights. Again, Skylar Kelly, 13 carries, 94 yards on the touchdown, 5 of 16, 64 on the touchdown passing. Spread the ball around a little bit. Jackson, Detman, Harrelson, Wallace, all with a catch. Detman with 31 yards and a touchdown. There was opportunities in that game. The game started off real well. Score was close. Eventually, they ended up pulling away. In that game, I would say one of our biggest Achilles heel was the defense in that game. Again, offense wasn't the best, but we gave up a lot of points on the defensive side of the ball. Where and a lot of things didn't go our way. We had some penalties, some unnecessary roughness. We had punts that were blocked, bad snaps. So many things that could have gone wrong went wrong, and that's the way the cookie crumbled for that one. Again, not taking any away from Denham Springs, fantastic program. I believe number 1 in the district right now, riding high. And then we turn the page to Halloween night. Santa Monica, 49-24 was the game there. Offense looked a little bit better. We moved the ball. Skylar didn't have the greatest night passing that night, 7-13, 76 yards, no touchdown through the air, 1 interception. Now on the ground, we've had, Kelly had 12 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown. Taj had a touchdown with 13 yards. Jace had a run. Sanders with 9 carries, 34 yards. So we had some movement on the ground. And then you had a few guys on receiving. Kel Dago, 4 catches. He was a big one. 4 catches, 34 yards. And then that goes to say 4 catches, 34 yards, and that's your leading receiver. It shows you one of the it's not so much your strong point when you can't get the ball through the air. When that puts you in a one-dimensional position as a football team, and when you do that, and Santa Maria did capitalize. 17-14 was the score at halftime. We were leading 17-14, but then you started to notice Santa Maria started bringing more guys into the box. They were putting pressure on Skylar and the running backs, and we had a lot of opportunities missed through the air. Passes, I'm not going to say easy passes. None of them were easy. I know I couldn't do it if I was out there, but a lot of opportunities that were missed just with drop balls. We had plays that didn't go our way as far as we can. You can't take a sack, especially anything it's 15 to 20 yards. You can't take a sack. You just got to throw that ball away. Just a few miscues, and I think that has been the detriment of this football team through majority of their losses. I think, especially in the Santa Maria game, we were at 17-14. We are poised to keep this ball moving, running that clock, really making keeping your foot on the gas, keeping the momentum on your side, and I think we failed to do that. And then again, Santa Maria made their adjustments. They came back. They put more pressure on the running game and Skylar, and being that we couldn't help out through the passing game, it showed that they stopped us from moving the ball in the second half. The other side of the ball, there's only so much a defense can do. You can be a bend and break defense, bend but don't break defense. But in the end, if you cannot get off the field, you get tired. It doesn't matter how much conditioning you have. Eventually, it's going to catch up with you. Guys are going to get tired. You're going to get winded. You get injuries, and I think that's what ended up happening to us in the second half. And Santa Maria just, they really did a good job in recovering that second half, and they pulled off the victory. They honestly deserved to get that win. Now, again, I don't want to take away from what the season has been overall. We've added 2 more wins to the season that we didn't have last year. We have shown movement on offense. We have definitely shown that we can stifle an offense on the defensive side of the ball. Coach and I have alluded to that the special teams has done a phenomenal job on that their side of the ball respectfully. So in the end, even though we're coming down to the last game, it's not going to be a winning season. No playoff hopes in sight, but you didn't take a step back. You took a step forward. You are poised with the young group of players that you had this year. Most of your kids were sophomores that you started off with last year. Now a lot of them are juniors. You're going to lose some seniors, but it's not going to be what most organizations go through. Okay, most schools lose a good bit of their varsity class. You're not having that. You're going to lose some, but it's not that much. So now, if you build on, if you have a steady build, you got 2, you got 4. What's going to say for what's that going to say for the football season next year? Playoffs, right? That's the next step. Or take a step back from that, winning season. Okay, that is in the cards. Biggest takeaways from my personal point of view: bolster your line, so many times that we've tried to push the ball upfield in the run game. And look, Taj Wallace has done a fantastic job. Skylar Kelly has done a fantastic job in moving the football. But there's so much more that can be done. Bolster that offensive line. Increase your wide receiver core. Hopefully there's some young guys coming up in the JV ranks, or maybe even the freshman ranks. Bolster the receiving core. Get the hands stronger. Make it easier for that dynamic run game that you potentially have. Make it easier for them by spreading the defense out. You get your corners and linebackers and safeties away from the center of the field by throwing the ball, by making catches. And we're not talking about bombs 40, 50 yards downfield. We're talking about a 5-yard slant, a 3-yard hitch, just things of that nature to make it easier to spread that field out. Don't let them put 8 men in the box and be successful. Make it 6 men in the box. That way it gives your line a better chance to block. So offensive line, wide receivers, big point of emphasis on the offense. Defense. I find we do a fantastic job on the outside of the ball. Cornerbacks, safeties. To me, it's more on that inside. And again, talking about the line, there's some pressure there, but it's not enough. Possibly, again, hopefully there's some kids coming up in the ranks that's going to bolster that defensive line, get more pressure on the inside of the field, push the quarterbacks and running backs to try and go to the wide sides, give your secondary and linebackers an opportunity to rally to the football. And again, this is me. this is what I see as far as being out on the outside looking in. Maybe Coach Smith and a few of the other coaches think differently, but that's why I'm on the podcast. I'm just talking, right? There you go. So, and then and again, going back to special teams, Luke has been a phenomenal punter. He's done a great job this year. I think our punt coverages, our kick coverages has been great. Biggest things this year has been we need just maybe a little bit stronger blocking on the outsides, keeping some of those guys at bay from coming in, especially on field goals. Controlling our snaps a little bit, few times we've seen, there's been some, high snaps, stuff on the ground, just things like that, because just buying the kickers and punters time to just get that ball off, it makes a world of difference. But again, honestly, I feel special teams this year has been one of the stronger points of this football team. And yeah, we are, again, even though we're and we're not finished yet. We still have a game. We're going to go over that in a second. But as of this point, I mean, you have to be optimistic, even though the season. Look, every team wants to go undefeated. Every team wants to win a championship. That's just not in the cards. But you have to look at this season as somewhat of a win. Again, you didn't take a step back. You're not sitting here at 2 wins. Coming into the end of the season, you've doubled your win total. You've got your first district wins in school history. So it's an absolute win. So, and then with that being said, so let's look ahead to this Friday, last game of the season, St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm really hoping I'm saying that right, but St. Thomas Aquinas, not a very strong football team. They are 0-9 on the season. I believe it's 0-4 in their district. They've only had one game, and that was game one of the season, where they scored more than one touchdown. They scored 14 points in their very first game, and it's been either one touchdown or no touchdowns every game since then. So obviously, offense not a strong point. Now defense, I can say, I mean, they've been blown out. Don't get me wrong, but most games have been 3 to 4 touchdowns. So their defense tries to hold strong. You can see that in some of the stats. Their quarterback is their leading, kind of like we are with Skylar. He's their leading yards, 28 yards per on passing, and then 28 yards rushing. Nowhere near where Skylar Kelly is, but he is their focal point. He is their skill player on offense. So it looks like I'm assuming, and I'm speaking for Coach Smith, not really, but I am. I believe that's where their focus, the defense's focus, is going to be is controlling him. And then on the opposite side, I really do think we should be strong enough to, with Skylar, with Taj, Jace Harrelson, receivers, Parker, Face, and Caldago, all these guys. I'm really looking for them to have a huge game Friday. I'm really hoping that by the end of that game, there's going to be some young guys coming in there and hopefully showing some of their skill set, because this is that type of game that you learn to see to see what's coming up in the next year or two. But then going back to that game, you win this game, you're sitting at 5-5 for the season, 500. Granted, it's not a winning season, but you're looking at a 500 season, second year out the gate, coming off of a 2-win losing season. And again, I know I've said it 100 times already, and I'm going to say it 100 times going forward. That's a win. This season, you can take away, this season is a win for Prairieville High School football. Granted, 6-4 looks better, but 5-5 compared to 2-8, I mean, I'll take that every day and twice on Sundays. Okay, wonderful. It's been a wonderful performance. Again, there's things obviously they're gonna have to work on, but you also take away that most of these guys are coming back. Skylar's coming back, Kale's coming back. Parker will be back. That's some of your skill guys that made a difference this year will be back next year. You gotta start work. You gotta start molding these young guys, these sophomores and juniors, for the next season, to just keep up that program, to build that program up even further, and maybe, just maybe, we end up seeing a potential playoff run for next season. So I'm excited. I know he's not on camera, but Joey, are you excited?
I'm excited, man. Keep the momentum.
Absolutely.
Great achievements.
Absolutely. So, and look, going back again, I know it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks since we did the homecoming show, and again, I do apologize. It was, we had a couple things that Coach Smith had to work out, a few other things that just didn't fall in line with what we're trying to do with the show. But we're back, and hopefully we're back for the remainder of the year. But just to recap on a few things that happened since we were gone, had to do a little homework. Congratulations to Miss Addison Nakan for being voted Student of the Year. So if you're watching, Addison, congratulations on that. Another thing, and I know a couple of kids that are in it, and I'm really happy for them. The band the band did their first competition, and out of 17 schools, finished sixth place.
Awesome.
Out of 17. So kudos to you guys. Again, you're only 2 years old as a band, and for you to finish, 6 of 17. That's again, that's a win. I'll give you that any time of the day. October 19th, the Hurricane Hub launched officially online. So now you can purchase all your hurricane gear. You don't have to go running off to the store yet. You don't have to wait for game days to go and buy it. It's right there online. I know a few of y'all that are connected with Prairieville through Facebook. Y'all have been seeing it. So now it's even easier to get your merch. It's right there. It's just a click away. And then also one of the big ones, October 22nd, we did Meet the Hurricanes. The first Meet the Hurricanes was fantastic. I think this one actually trumped it all. Anybody that was there for Meet the Hurricanes, it was a show. The band did a phenomenal job. You had color guard, the cheer and dance did great renditions, great shows. I was so pleased to watch some of the coaches get into it. And again, if you were there, you saw it. If not, Coach Dittman stepped in for the ladies basketball team to announce it. And when I tell you, it was like being at a Chicago Bulls game and somebody calling out Michael Jordan stats and position. It was, I was just waiting for the lights to turn off and the spotlights to go off in the stands. It was amazing. And then Coach Collier, shout out to him because he tried to follow Devin, but he wasn't that good, but he was good. He was good. I was kind of waiting for him to break out a "Are you ready to rumble?" But he didn't do it, but it was still good on top of that. But came out with all the sports that are coming out for this season, for the winter season. We got men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer. We have wrestling, powerlifting, fishing is going, and then color guard and band are all in the winter sports this year. The big ones always to follow football is basketball. Everybody's looking forward to basketball, men's and women's. What's making a big push right now is powerlifting. You got so many people getting into powerlifting right now, and this is a great thing. It really is for men and women. Men, especially football players, baseball players. It's things that help with transitioning to these other sports. Wrestling is another one I've attributed, and I've told my son, who is also a wrestler, there's nothing better to get you ready for offensive line than wrestling, because the pushing, the pulling, it's just something else that gets you geared up, and not just trying to look at another sport, but wrestling one-on-one, all focuses on you doing battle with the young man or woman that's in front of you. It's another thing. Again, football is fun, and with football, it's that team sport. It's that 11 on 11. But then when you're out there on that mat, and again, it's one-on-one, and everybody's looking at you. It's a different rush. It really is. Soccer last year, if I remember correctly, boys soccer made a hell of a run last year. Coming straight out the gate, nobody was expecting it, and we're anticipating that to keep going. Ladies, I know a few of the ladies that are out there on that, that's gonna be out there on the soccer field, and I think it's gonna be the same for the ladies. I think they're gonna make a push this year. Fishing, we covered fishing when we opened the podcast. Luckily, Mr. Dawson Hathaway was there and filled a little spot for us, and we appreciated him about that. And one of the great things about the podcast, it brought light to fishing. You know, I've had so many people come to us and say, "Wow, I didn't even realize you had a fishing program," and now more people are inclined to watch it. You know, to go and catch. You know, I mean, you can't really watch too much of the fishing, but you know, you can see the weigh-ins. You know, you can see what the kids do when they come back. Color guard, look. I had sisters that were in color guard. Yes, cheer and dance are two of the bigger, you know, focuses of I guess choreographed sports, but color guard, you know, the batons, the flags, it's just that added on portion to what the band, cheer, dance, everybody puts together. It's all, to me, it's all one big sport, but it's just like football. You got your quarterbacks, you got your running backs, you got your receivers. That's basically what that is. It's one big organization that comes together, and I know there's more competitions coming up, and we're going to cover that. You know, especially with dance and cheer. They have nationals coming, so we're going to cover that. So, you know, just a lot of exciting things coming. And then we had one more. And band, and one other thing we want to cover too. We're gonna get to that in this month is athletic training. I was trying to get to that this past month, but you know, again, things happen. We just kind of fell behind. But athletic training, huge part. Like we've seen it 100 times this season. Kids go down, whether it's just a cramp or something more serious. You know, I think we've had a couple of kids that kind of went into a concussion protocol, and if it's not for the athletic trainers out there doing their job, things could be worse. You know, they're out there putting their knowledge to the test, helping out these athletes, and they're going to continue doing that throughout the year. It's not like football where, you know, they'll be done after this coming Friday. They continue going all year round. So, you know, thanks to them, and like I said, we're gonna cover, you know, that. Also with athletic training, you have a lot of the kids that are in school that are doing athletic training along with the actual registered athletic trainers. So another way of getting kids involved, and they've done a phenomenal job. We've watched them 100 times out there with the sports, with football, with everything. So again, recap. It's the season has been great. We have I can't say it enough, and I wish Coach was here with me tonight, and unfortunately he's not. But I wish I could tell him a fantastic job, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna eventually we'll have him back on, and we're gonna talk about it. But he's done a fantastic job. The coaching staff has done a great job, and I really think another year under that belt it's gonna pay dividends. We're there. You're just one step away right now from a playoff contention. What's next year going to look like? What's the year after going to look like? And it's very exciting. You know, it's very exciting about where this program is heading, and I'm very excited about continuing this on and seeing where all the other sports are heading, and we can only do that with your help with the Hurricane Nation. Now, again, I can't say it enough. Thanks to Mr. Joey Todd and LRC for helping us out. I mean, you see what we got going on here. This beautiful screen behind me. We have been blessed to have great support for the Hurricane Nation, and it continues. And all I can say is, go Canes.